Hi folks, welcome to Once Driven Forever Smitten. I am back at the Black Cavalier with the intention of trying to get the immobiliser to work and hopefully unlock the engine and maybe get it to run. Making one of the first uses of one of my Christmas presents to myself, a DeWalt 3/8 impact to go with my 18 volt DeWalt battery ratchet. Well, I knew it was going to be too good to be true all the way down there, eh? There we go. Transferred over onto the Mac Tools T30. And I'll lift it off. Of course, we've got you connected here. This funny little emissions box thing. Why won't you come off? Maybe you'll come off down here. Of course, the thing has got spring clips everywhere on it, which nobody likes. You don't move off either way. Okay, you want to come off like that, do you? And we've got a cam sensor in here. Dearie me, wiring for the crank sensor is knackered. That's not very good at all. Look at that. I wonder. Ooh, this is dry. This is dry. Well, if you want to know why the engine won't turn over, there's your answer there. Look at that. There's a whole load of rust in the cam lobes. I think I may have to replace the cams in this. Look at that. Oh, that's nasty. And there's a whole load of dried up crud sitting in the top of the engine. Yuck. Okay, we can deal with that. Yeah, if you look, that's all what's sitting in the top of the engine, and amongst all the cylinder head bolts and everything, it's a whole load of congealed crud. That's the loom all disconnected from the engine there. What I did notice was the state of the crank sensor. The insulation on it's completely shot. I did try disconnecting it, and I tried the battery off to see if it would reset anything in the immobiliser in case like this was shorting out and doing weird stuff, but with everything disconnected apart from just the power for the loom, it still is immobilised. So I'm going to yank this loom out now from inside the car. We are losing a bit of light now. Let's whip these cam pulleys off. You sitting there. Alright, let's get these cams out. Bet the bottom end turns over fully when these are removed. There is so much crud in this engine, it's not even funny. Alright, right, that's a big plug through it. That's the main bit, and that's the rest of it. There we go, one complete Ecotec wiring loom. Right, that's them all off. I shall now go and remove them. Wow, look at the rust on those camshafts. I don't even know if they're salvageable. Probably not going to risk it if I can use ones out of another engine. And there's so much crud sitting amongst the lifters. Ugh. Dearie me. If you look in here now, I'll get the light on. Look at the crud that's sitting in here. I'm going to have to go and get a hoover in, I think, and try and suck some of that, well, all of it out. We can't have that sitting in there. Oh, look at that one in the end. Yikes. Wouldn't last long if you did manage to get this to start anyway. Now there's one of the camshafts that I've given a clean up, and I thought maybe the surfaces would be pitted and they'd be no good, but they're absolutely fine. And if you look at this one that I haven't done yet, how absolutely caked with rust it is, that's pretty good going. What I'm going to do is, over here, I've got the 16 hydraulic lifters that have come out my XE for the Cavalier, and there's nothing wrong with these, but I have got 16 new ones for that, so these old ones can go into the Cavalier engine. So I'm amazed at how the rust has come off this. Right folks, I am back at the engine with my fancy new headlight, and as we can see, it's a total mess in here. So I've got some wire brushes and some brake cleaner. We're going to try and get this cleaned out as best we can. I'm just going to pop the spark plugs back in it, I think, to prevent any more of that crap going down into the engine, which we do not want. Loads of this in here. That's fairly breaking it all up. I mean, it is all just carbon, so as it kind of gets diluted by the brake cleaner and in turn this WD-40, it's only soaked in the side of the lifters. It should hopefully work its way to the bottom of the engine somehow. I guess that's it. Had a clean, and what I've done is I've put some WD-40 into there, and see it's just sitting on those lifters there, not draining away. So they're quite stuck. I'll have to see if I can remove them, because they're the rustiest ones as well. Some of them have got pitting on them, as you can see, which you don't really want the cam lobes running on. Won't be good. We shall see. This lifter here right in the end, I've managed to get this one to pop up. I would very much like this one to do the same. He's popped up now, so he would probably pop out. He's moving. Just this last one on the end here's stuck down. Oops. I'm just brutalising this lifter, and it is turning, so hopefully it will pop up the way. Yes, fantastic. I've got them to pop up. The shadow of the GoPro is making this difficult with my head torch. I'll have to get another torch out. That's just popped up. That was the last one, so they're now all up, I think, so I can try and remove them. Come on. This time. Ah, yes! Woo! That was well jammed in there. Look at how horrible the end of that is. I can't put that back in the engine. Right, that was the worst one. Let's see if I can get the rest of them out. Here we go. The last lifter is coming out. Boom! All 16 out. One of them lying down the back of the inlet manifold, where I hit it and it went flying. Yeah. I can see them, but I can't reach them. No, you can stay there now. Right, let's go. Right. There was nothing ever wrong with these lifters. These were out of my blue Cavalier C20XE, which I've only just got running again. There we go. 16 shiny new old lifters from my XE. They'll do the trick. I think I've got WD-40 on the lens. I'll have to get that clean. I now have the cams in place. GC18 is our inlet cam, 90056 or whatever the number is on it. The one that people like to use in Z-lets and things. Right, well, that's everything for this step in the proceedings. I will come back to it again just shortly. That's some difference there. All nice and clean, carbon taken off it. The cams move nicely now, and I've got them sitting on their timing marks at the top there, so I'll go back with the jack to get it up in there, get the bottom pulley off, get it timed up, and that's another step closer to seeing if we can get it to start. Hello folks, well I'm back at it, and as you can see I've got the blue Cavalier MOT'd, which will have been in the other video that's out by now. Today I've got a timing belt kit for it, I've got a crank sensor, I've got a fuel pump relay, and I've got some information about how to deal with this flashing EML light potential immobiliser fault. So let's just hope that the weather stays decent. It's blue sky now, but it's been raining on and off quite heavily all day, so might as well get right into it. And of course it started raining. First job, need to remove these bottom pulley bolts here, which are rusty. E10XEVs, so I mean hopefully the shock, giving them a little tap, will mean that they want to slacken. Oh, that one cracked, brilliant. See, we're going to need a brake pipe. It's never been welded in inner wheel arch, so I've noticed. Oh, two. This would be lovely if these would come apart. They are a better design than the earlier ones, which had the multi-splines. Three. Shock the rust loose. Yes, get in. I'll get the ratchet on them. I do like my new DeWalt battery ratchet a lot. Well, bottom pulley came off without too much of a fight. Now I just need to move the engine round so it's on its bottom timing mark. Now the engine was locked before and wouldn't move. Oh. Is it still locked? I've just taken the old belt off it. And look, it's permanently in that shape. You know, it's sat in the same position for 15 years, so we'll get rid of that. I did manage to get the bottom end to turn there. It went with a bit of a crack. I think this head's got stuck valves in it myself. I just got the engine to do a full rotation on the bottom end there, but there's certainly been a tight spot on it. Where one of the rings was catching. But it is turning now. Oh yeah, we're away now. There must have been a bit of crap holding it on the piston ring. Right, where's our timing mark on this fella? There's a little notch there at the bottom bolt, so I shall move him round. Right. Oh, bottom end's timed up. Just need to tweak the camshafts at the top. Before I do the timing belt, I'm just checking I have the correct crank sensor. That's the old one there. Not too sure about that. Here's the new Le Sensor de Clonk, which is French for the crank sensor. It runs a really strange route up the back of the engine mount, which I can't do now, so I'm just going to run it as the crow flies, and so it doesn't interfere with anything. Now I have here a timing belt kit which came off an Astra VXR, which is the same setup. Normally I wouldn't use a second-hand timing belt, but Jamie from VRS had it sitting there and kindly gave us it for free. Because we don't know what this engine's going to do, so I'd rather not spend the money on a timing belt kit for it in the eventuality the thing's knackered. So this will do for it just now, just to see if it's actually going to run okay. These haven't done many miles at all, and because I don't think the ones on it have done many miles either. It looked like it had a timing belt. See, all the writing's still on the belt on this. Anyway, this one that's shaped exactly like the engine. But it, you know, they've been sitting for 15 years, so we'll put these ones on, which is a much safer bet. Just had to abandon proceedings due to a freezing downpour of sleet just as I'm about to fit the timing belt. I'll just have to sit and wait 5 minutes, hopefully this will pass over. Can't work in that. Oh. Right, after 2 stops for torrential rain, I got the timing belt on it, which was a dick. Inside the car, Ken's was sheltering for the elements because we need to replace the fuel pump, which is held in here. It's an in-tank type set of 8mm bolts on it. I could hear it going dunk, dunk, dunk when I powered up the fuel pump relay directly before, so we have a replacement pump in this box because there's just no way. I knew that there was no way that was going to run. Just stick them on that wee plastic thing. The washers, well, at least they're coming out. That's our replacement fuel pump here, so I'm going to continue getting the belt back on it. Once we get the pump on it, then we can put some fuel in it. But we can also kind of see what's in the tank here as well. It didn't seem to have any petrol in it, assuming the fuel gauge worked, so it'd be good if it didn't. The last bolt out it. Yeah, that's coming up in one piece, pretty much. And you've got to kind of, if you need to kind of, it's a funny shape when it comes out. You know, like kind of manoeuvre it so it comes out, and then mind the way that it's sitting there, because you've got your wee fucking wee sender hang on it. Ideal, one fuel pump extracted. There's a strainer that's come out separately, and you can see in here it's kind of dark looking petrol in there, so what I'm going to do is probably going to pour some fresh petrol directly in there so it's sitting in it straight away, because that stuff is nice. You can see there's shit in the tank and everything like that. This tank's probably going to have to come out this car. That fresh one. There's shite in it, but flush it out basically, I think. But we'll pour some petrol in there before it goes back in. Replacement pumps in, put 2 new terminals on it, and you get this little pad for the bottom of it. So that'll just drop into the fuel tank next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some fresh petrol in there so it gets it straight away. And also the rain's coming on heavy, so I'm probably going to abandon it for a couple of minutes. Petrol going in using my totally approved container. See what that looks like.
Good there.
Aye, how you splash more?
You splash on.
I don't want to drown it.
No. That should do, aye.
Right.
It's plenty.
Petrol in the swivel. The wind just slammed on me.
So.
There's turn hoses or something. There's the senders for it. There. Move out the way, that would be fucking nice. A moment. Right, in we go. Has to be manoeuvred in a particular fucking way to get in. It needs to sit in the right holes again. There we go. That's us fucking... Sorry, swearing again. Yeah. Right, fuel pump installation complete. We shall just leave that there now though to monitor it in case we need to get into it. I'm going to finish off with the timing belt and see if it's going to turn over. Right, let's just see if this engine's going to turn over now. It's all timed up with a belt on it. Looks like it's gonna.
Just turn that.
Tight spot there. Oh, that's just. Assuming it's got compression. Compression's nice. I like a bit of that. There we go. Back to the start. We're pretty much lined up there, yeah. Aye, we're spot on, and we're going to stop for a minute. Right folks, well, we're now in a position where we can at least attempt to try and start it. That's the non-immobilised ECU I got for it. I've put the standard on it just now. This is a brand new fuel pump relay, which I'm just going to fire into it. Not that I think there's anything wrong with the one that's in it, but we don't know, it's so old. We're all connected up there. Key in the ignition.
Pump's going.
Flashing warning light. Right, let's crank it. It is sparking? No. Spark. Okay, I'll try the other ECU on it. I'm going to check as well, get you crank it, Sancho. Go for it. The Cavalier GLS is on the ramps, and we're just trying to sort the fuel pipes out before we attempt to address the immobiliser. And look, the back box is coming straight off it, which is unusual. It's pretty solid underneath as well. Needs a couple of spring seats. But the exhaust's full of rusty water. That would have been interesting if we'd fired it up with that on it. But we can't, because we need to get to the pipe at the top of the fuel tank, which is up here, and we can't access it, so the exhaust's having to come off it. Which is all going to have to come apart anyway, because it needs another fuel tank put in it, so you know. Right, what I've done is, in the car we have replaced the pipe going to the fuel pump. Obviously it's got a new fuel pump in it, so that's the main feed hose going to the filter, and now we'll put it up in the air because we've replaced the return pipe at the moment to see what that does, because it immediately started leaking, so who knows what's going to happen here. If I put the ignition on, what happens?
Getting fuel?
It's getting fuel.
Yeah. Get it pushing through.
That's running all the time, is it?
Right.
Let me check that. That must be because what I've done down there is I've went and bridged an immobiliser wire out, so it would appear that the fuel system is running.
Right. Good.
I think we've got another leak though. In fact, I'm not sure, I can't really see.
Yeah.
Come it over and see if we get a spark out it.
Whoa.
It's sparking. Well, that's interesting. We have a spark due to having bridged something out. Okay.
This has got fire.
Right, well that's interesting. What I had done, I had a look at the Cavalier CDX loom that I took out the scrapyard, and I discovered that the blue-red signal wire and the fuel pump wire at the transponder are bridged. So I did that, and now the fuel pump's running all the time, and it's sparking. So it should fire up. Be interesting to see if it does. See what happens this time. Right, let's try and cut it over and see what happens. No.
In the bush.
It's even a boost. Is the booster pack here? Right, put the jump leads on it off the Omega.
That's right.
The battery's a little dull.
Fine.
Hey?
Yeah, man.
It popped there. It popped. Right, here we go. Try again. Plugs are absolutely soaking. So we shall dry them out and try again. Just replaced the coolant temp sensor in it because that one's 15 years old and it'll be making it overfuel like crazy. So we shall put the battery back on it. We shall put the jump lead back on it. And see what's going to happen this time.
Yeah.
Let's check if it is indeed sparking.
Try that. Oh, sparking.
It started there for a second with one lead off it. Weird.
Lean on.
Next stage in the process, we suspect the injectors are shut, but we're just going to see if it is in fact opening them. Yeah. So I've got the injector noid light test set on it, so this will tell us if the injectors are opening. Was that flashing?
No flashing now, no.
It wasn't flashing,
No.
but it was before.
Yes.
It was flashing now, but it was before.
How's that?
Was it flashing?
No.
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 Right, the it still appears to be immobilised. So I've got this old laptop that I got for Jeff. So we're going to try and get into this Vectra A. There we go, it's already on X20XEV. We've got to start. It's plugged in, hardware not ready. Hardware not ready. Yeah, I don't know. Leaving it here the night. It is trying to kick and fire up, but at the moment we can't get the injectors to open it. It is still immobilised. Can't get the laptop to connect it, so I need to speak to Jeff and find out what I'm doing wrong, because it just says hardware not ready. And this is as far as we've got. It'll probably fire for a second here and then cut out. Okay, so it's now Thursday night, and back at the car, I've had a long video call conversation with Jeff where we've been through various things. I was trying to get the diagnostic Tech 1 device to work on the car, but there's a bad connection at the plug. So we're going to go back and I'm going to try it on the Corsa and see if it works on that, because I don't know, there's weird stuff going on with this car. We have discovered that the injectors are getting power, the fuel pump is powering up, it is sparking, so it seems like pretty much everything's working. But the immobiliser light's still flashing as well. I've also just cleaned up all the earths there, the main earth point on the car, so I'm now going to fire the battery back on it, see if it's made any difference whatsoever. Right. Obviously we won't get anything there because I don't have an ECU connected. Now, we couldn't get the Tech 1 laptop to work with the Cavalier, the black one anyway, so I've tried it in the Corsa and it plugs in just under here, and the good news is that it does work. I've got a little Opal scanner thing here with the green and red lights on it, and I've got a whole wealth of information on the screen here. I can go into parameters and check battery voltage, coolant temperature, injection pulse, air fuel ratio. We've got graphs there that we can read, battery voltage, injection pulse again, vehicle speed, O2 sensor, loads of different things that we can get into on this, which is interesting. No trouble code stored. The Corsa's having a little bit of a misfire issue at the moment. I find it interesting that this old laptop that I got from Jeff does allow us diagnostic access to an old vehicle like this. Well, I give up. The starter motor's just jammed on it, so there's no point in spending any more time trying to fault find it. As interesting as it would be to try and get it to run, I'm just going to take it out because wasting time otherwise, you know. Yeah, I'll start stripping it. Right, it's now Friday night and I'm at one of Stevie's lock-up garages, and we've just gone and removed this F16 from this 20NE 2.8 8 valve I bought ages ago. So that is going to get connected up to the XE out of FAB, because the gearbox on it is all smashed to bits. It's the same thing, wide ratio, so that'll be spot on. Just going to chuck this in the van and get it up to the workshop. Yes, here we go. Right, back in the garage. Gearbox is here, engine's here, sexy manifold that everybody says won't fit is here. Job now, rip the subframe off it, take the cat off it, and then basically the engine's ready to come out because I stripped it all last night. Considering how the rest of the car's come apart, I'm not expecting issues with the subframe bolts. Whoop. 2 18s out the middle, 16s out the front, and the back. Oh, beautiful!
You're always really though.
That back mount's out. I've already done that. FAB lambda sensor, that was the one thing I'd forgotten. I'll have to unclip that for the top. Always forget something. Our new transmission jack's getting a run out here. Handy bit of equipment. I've got 2 new wishbones to go in there. Noticed as well though that this has got the light kind drop links on it. Oops. And that's all the subframe bolts out. Now to lower the transmission jack. There we go.
Easy gear.
Where's that coming off at? That's it. Now we should find out what we've left connected. I don't think we've left anything. I think we're alright. Freedom! Can I sit? Go. I think it's maybe going to lean forward here. It's maybe going to want to tip forward if you... Like that. Right, that's the gearbox ready to be removed from the engine.
There's the gearbox anyway.
And we're off. Look at that.
That's the debut.
Right. We've got the F16 which has gone in, removed the old thrust bearing, original metal one. We're just going to take the clutch fork out it because it's really stiff, and we're going to get a load of lube in there. Because that's not going to be very nice to push the clutch. So like, need my clean. Old gearbox is off, new one is on. Just discovered that we need the linkage from the F18 on the Ecotec because it has got on it a female end, whereas the ones off the F16 for the pre-facelift are the opposite way about. So just going to swap them over now. While the engine's out, I'm going to replace the power steering pipes for the pre-facelift version so they fit properly. I've whipped the wiper linkage out, which wasn't working and it seized, but as we can see here, something's been making a nest in where the blown motor is, so I'll have to hoover all this out. Servo's coming off and it's getting replaced with this one here, which is off a G-Reg non-ABS because I like non-ABS brakes better. I'm not bothered about that petrol draining out at like because it's minging anyway.
Oh, it's stinking in the colour, it's fucking terrible.
Wow! Look at that! This pile of stuff here by the brush was what was in the heater blower motor. So something's made a comfy bed in there. Doesn't appear to have chewed any wires, but they're the same. A lot of crap. Next stage in the process, because the engine's out, I'm getting rid of the ABS setup because the brake pedal feel of the non-ABS is far superior and I reckon you can stop better. So massively simplifies things. All this big ABS unit's coming out of here and I've got everything there that's just been done in the blue Cavalier. So I'm going to disconnect all this now, and that nice bracket there is where my cruise control is going to sit. This is the ABS unit being removed. Well, hey, weight saving, goodbye. Right, that is now the fuel tank out, and you can see it's a bit rusty. But what I wanted to do while the fuel tank was out, it's just a lot easier to route the brake pipes, and we can also get in and just inspect it. We'll get that cleaned up, get some rust proofing in there while the tank's out the road, it's much easier. And I've got some other tanks sitting over there in the shelves, which I'd stripped bits out of previously, so I'll go and get the pump and the sender out of this and go and fit it in another tank. I've got the servo in place and I've got my brake pipes routed from front to back out the sides for the moment, so That's all right. Now I'm going to move on and start cleaning my power steering pipes up using the brush grinder. These are off the blue Cavalier FAB, and the ones that off the Cav are pretty manky anyway, but they won't fit the early type power steering pump. So I'm going to try and clean these up, see what kind of result I get. So there's a before, see what they turn out like after. Folks, I am stunned. They've come up really well. They were all covered in rust, and I was thinking that I'm going to end up going right through these, but they're all right. Obviously now I'm going to go and give them a good coat in of paint. But yeah, totally salvageable. Delighted. Right folks, that's all for this one. I might start putting up some shorter progress videos rather than doing big ones that take ages to edit and knock together. Yes. Are you coming in the window or what? Look at your scabby bit. You're gonna have a baldy bit there.